Hey kids, are your parents about to buy you a shiny new toy from Amazon?
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Well, don't be selfish. Share some of that money with us. Before going on Amazon, make sure to type in bit.ly/geek2me in the web browser. It will look just like Amazon.com, except it'll say referral Geek to Me Radio up top. And then when you check out, a tiny percentage will go to support the show without costing you 1 cent more. So before your parents get you that gizmo, gadget, or widget, make sure they type in bit.ly/geek2me in the web browser.
bit.ly/geek2me, bit.ly/geek2me.
Welcome, geeks and nerds, girls and boys, to a brand new edition of Geek to Me Radio. Today, we have Erica Deutschman talking about her new web series that you can catch on YouTube. We'll talk about some of the other aspects of her acting career. Later on, we'll be joined by BK on the Air, talking all things geek. Stand by.
We're talking TV, comics and movies, and video games. And if you don't know Star Trek from Star Wars, we'll try to explain. There are 12 doctors for Hogwarts houses, 1 ring rules them all. To be the greatest Pokemon master, you must catch them all. You must catch them all. Try to catch them all. Gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all.
And if you're driving around the greater St. Louis area tonight, listening to us on the big 550 KTRS, thank you very much for tuning in there. If you're seeing this on the Instagram feed, hello to you. And if you're watching this on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, hello to you there. Thanks for tuning in. If you're hearing this after the fact in the podcast form, wherever you get your podcasts, thank you very much for subscribing and listening there each week. Full show, so we're going to dive right in. My first guest, Erica Deutschman, actor in a brand new web series. I think the first episode, if I'm not mistaken, just dropped. Was it yesterday, Erica?
Was yesterday, yeah.
Very exciting, and I watched it. It was very fun. It's almost like an Office, but it's also like a commentary on social media and fame and everything. So it was brilliant on several fronts. How did you end up getting attached to this project?
Well, my friend Jesse Camacho and I kind of came up with it a while back, and it was just kind of scrapping all our friends together and hoping that we could make something that was funny and looked good and that people would like. And then Peter, who was our friend who was affiliated with Popternative TV, was the one who kind of gave us the platform to put it out there. So here it is. We're so excited.
When you took this part on, Erica, obviously you're writing it too, but was this done to kind of create a part for something you saw that wasn't out there in the world? Or was it kind of just like, hey, this would be funny, let's do this with some friends? Where was the line for you?
Ooh, good question. I think I would say somewhere in the middle, because we were sort of inspired by Lisa Kudrow in The Comeback.
Yeah.
But obviously there's a bit of a generational difference, and she actually experienced some success early on in her career in the show. Meanwhile, she's kind of Erica is like this up and coming actress who isn't really up and coming. Right. So that's the difference. And obviously it's so much fun to get to kind of have an alter ego, like just do this silliest version of yourself and get to go there, which usually you don't get to do in real life.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's it's a good outlet for all the nonsense.
And I got to say, this will probably be the highest compliment I could possibly pay you is I was getting shades of Ricky Gervais's Extras throughout there too, which is a brilliant show. But it's just one of those things where he's, you know, if you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. It's so funny, and it's the struggles of wanting to be famous. Was there any inspiration drawn from that series?
You know, it's funny. I only saw Extras after we shot the pilot.
Oh, wow.
But with that in mind, I'm like, I can definitely see the correlation there. And I mean, great. I mean, all of my favorite things, you know, mockumentary mixed with, you know, just kind of like desperate actors. I mean, hey, how could you go wrong?
And that begs the question too, if this really starts taking off, like I think it will, if everyone appreciates it the way they should, is there a possibility like, hey, we might get this celebrity to come on and kind of like have something else going, or is that not where you want to go with this?
Oh, the sky's the limit.
Okay.
I mean, you know, we're not turning down any celebrities, you know.
Sure.
Like we're happy to have everyone. We're happy to work with everyone. You know, as long as they're funny and good.
Right.
There are no rules so far. So, you know, I hope that comes across as, you know, fun and hilarious, and you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. And is there an end game in mind? Like that may be, I may be putting too much thought in this myself, but is there like here's where we ultimately see this going and we're just going to roadmap it to that point? Or is it kind of, again, we'll see how it goes as it goes?
You know, we do have a roadmap, but much like the script, you know, this is our guide, and then we kind of deviate depending on how we feel we should. So, so yes and no is the answer to your question.
Okay.
A bit of both.
And I noticed as I was looking over your IMDb thing, you've done a lot of other great projects. You've been Being Human, which was a great series. You were Beth in that. American Gothic. When you're working on shows like this, there's got to be kind of like some of those pinch yourself moments, because some of the people you're working with are just exceptional people, and to be on some of these shows, which are so well received. What are some of your? What's one of the favorite projects that you personally have done? Be it just from the rewarding acting experience or from a experience you had doing it on set with a certain person? What was your favorite?
Well, there's definitely a few, and I think I'm very lucky to say that all of my on-set experience is always great. I always, you know, come out feeling like it was a very positive experience. I would say, you know, Being Human was like my first, you know, big thing, and that was really awesome. And, you know, what a great way to like introduce yourself onto the scene. But also, I always say Saving Hope, because that's where I met one of my best friends in the world. So that was definitely, it's like great working experience. But then if you can like let that continue into your real life, then like, you know, you've really won, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And with all the stuff you've done as an actor, is something that you always want to do? Did you always know early on, I want to be an actor, this is where I want to be, this is where I'm going to take or did something came on unexpectedly?
No, this was it. This was the plan.
Good.
This was it for me. I was like obsessed with Mary-Kate and Ashley, and I was like, oh my God, I need to be in movies. This is it for me. This looks like the best job ever. And you know what? It really is. It's got its ups and downs, much like Erica Rhodes' career, but you know, it's always rewarding at the end of the day. That's
what we like to hear. That's the important thing. As long as you're enjoying the journey, that's the whole thing there. And one last question. I want to keep you too much longer. We mentioned the possibility of having celebrities. Knowing as much as you've written of the show so far, and as far as you guys are along with the production and everything like that, if there were two celebrities who you know you could just call and say, hey, we want you for this show, for this particular part that's coming up, who would be the two celebrities that you would just reach out to if you knew it was going to be a yes answer?
If I could get anybody in the world? Okay. You know who I always say, because they're kind of like my two celebrity crushes, and they're very far apart as people and looks wise and personality wise, would be Larry David and Zac Efron.
Those are very different choices. Yes.
Very different choices. Yes. No, you could fill in the blanks.
Yeah, if the
No,
two of them mugged me, I'd be able to identify the person in a lineup of the two. That's quite a different that's quite a different skill set for both, and looks and everything.
A
You're
little
right.
different, yeah, but both hilarious and both bring something to the table.
Yeah, that's so I guess are you Curb Your Enthusiasm and Seinfeld fan?
I can't get enough. I'm like obsessed with Curb, and if that's like sort of something that's guided me in my improv desires and aspirations, and that's it for me.
Yeah, that's a high bar to achieve, for sure.
Yeah.
And once again, the series is Crossroads on Popternative TV. You can go to YouTube and find that. If people want to keep up with you, just in everything else you've got going on, website, social media handles, where can people find you?
Yeah, well, you can find Erica Deutschman at Erica Deutschman on Instagram. Also, Erica Rhodes now has her own Instagram as of a few days ago. So you can go find her at Erica_Rhodes_Crossroads.
I guess it has to be a lot of fun to keep a social media account in character as someone like that. That's got to be a blast.
Yes, I've got to start making more. I need to keep up with it, but we already have a bunch of ideas, so it's going to be funny. Keep up with us, both sides of me.
Very cool. This has been a real treat to talk to you. Erica Deutschman, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you. This has been a blast. Thank you so much.
Anytime. We'll have you back and talk about season 2 and everything like that, okay?
Yes, all the developments.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Be well.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too. There she goes, Erica
Bye.
Deutschman. And again, keep up with Erica Rhodes and that her alter ego, Erica Rhodes, in the series Crossroads, Erica Deutschman. And that's brought to you by PD from Popternative and Jesse Camacho. We had on the air talking about Lock and Key. The pandemic screwed me up 2 years ago, I think. But yeah, a great team, obviously. A lot of funny stuff going on there. And if you want to, like I said, if you really want to laugh, that's a series you need to check out. So check out Crossroads. We appreciate the time for Erica Deutschman tonight. We're going to take our next commercial break.
Hey guys, this is Echo Kellum, aka Mr. Terrific, and you're listening to Geek to Me Radio.
Welcome back to Geek to Me Radio. I'm your host, James Enstall. Echo Kellum, met him at a Comic-Con. Very excited Comic-Cons are coming back. Wizard World got moved. I don't know if you know this, Joey. Wizard World got moved to St. Charles Convention Center. No longer downtown in 2022. So if those of you Wizard World fans, you can watch for the St. Charles Convention Center to have that banner coming in 2022. City of St. Charles, by the way, a great sponsor. They've been our premier sponsor, and they've been our very first sponsor, joined us at the very beginning. The Greater St. Charles Convention and Visitors Bureau, we've got a great relationship with them, and there's not a better place to visit if you're wanting something new, something different, whether you're in the Greater St. Louis area or maybe you're watching this online, you're thinking, well, that's a bit of a distance for us to go. Plan a trip. Plan a weekend trip. Come stay. There's lots of bed and breakfast at world-class hotels all through the area. And then, of course, the food, the unique shopping and dining. There's always something fun going on. If you're in the Greater St. Louis area, there's always the festivals happening. Check the website, discoverstcharles.com. That's discoverstcharles.com, and see what's going on down there. Go down for one of the festivals they've got. They just had a music festival last weekend. They've got an ice sculpting festival in January, I believe. And, of course, Legends and Lanterns. I know we're kind of just transitioning from spring to summer, but pretty soon it'll be fall. Legends and Lanterns, if you're a Halloween fan, that's a festival you must put on your list, whether you're from out of town or right here in the area, St. Louis, St. Charles area. Check them out on the website. Once again, the Greater St. Charles Convention and Visitors Bureau can be found at discoverstcharles.com. We always say it's an historically good time. Speaking of history, those of you who don't know, this show got its origins as a segment on Bill Cleveland's Trivia Night when we did trivia here on Saturday nights with Bill Cleveland, as the name of the show would imply. One of my very first people I kind of got into contact with was the gentleman I'm about to have on right now on the phone, BK, on the air. How are you, sir?
I have permission to come aboard, Captain James T. Enstall.
Permission granted. So good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you. I'm glad you got me tonight. I haven't spoken on the air with you in some time. We still speak at other venues, but I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I did. The last time I laid eyes on you was Dragon Con. I think we got to run around there and talk to Gil Gerard, and that was a lot of fun.
We finally got to meet each other in person. You know, it's fine to talk over the internet and exchange, emails and stuff and talk on the air, but you finally get to see that person face to face. You get to put the face to the voice, and it's awesome, and it was great. Yeah,
absolutely. And of course, as I mentioned, you and I first kind of came to know each other through the internet and through the world of radio, because you host. You've been doing it for a while. You host your very own show down in Cartersville, Georgia.
Yeah, since 2013, I've been on the air. It's BK on the air at Cartersville. We're a suburb just northwest of Atlanta, and I sort of do what you do. I talk about geeky, nerdy, retro stuff every Saturday from 10 a.m. till noon Eastern, and I've been doing it for a while, and even switched stations, different venues here and there, but have been at this local place for 6+ years, and you and I are very lucky that we get to do this on the radio.
Yeah.
I mean, podcasts are great, but I do turn my show into a podcast. I just kind of take all the local commercials out of it and edit it and add sound effects and old vintage commercials and put it in podcast form. But being on radio is something kind of special compared to being on a podcast. I mean, it's a whole different thing, but we still get to do what we do.
Yeah, and I've always said there are podcasts out there that are far better than my radio show, but it's that something special that people are tuning in and listening live, and it's a very unique feeling. Like when I mess up, it's like doing a stage play. Everyone's going to see me mess up, which I've done several times tonight, actually. So, there's that.
You and I have that in common too. We've both done live theater, and
That's right.
it's a high that no other thing can give you. It's kind of a natural high that you get when you're on the stage or doing the radio show or communicating with people in some kind of entertainment form. The way we do it just is there's nothing like it. I love it and always have.
And speaking of podcasts, you mentioned you turned your radio show into a podcast. Congratulations. You just came in at number 2 on the Podcast Magazine Hot 50 list, so congratulations.
Yeah, somebody had to tell me that because it blew me away. I saw it. I'm like, we're number what? I mean, you're on the list now. You've made the list several months in a row, and Podcast Magazine, they're such great folks, and you can log on there and vote for your top 3 favorite podcasts once a day every month, and they come out with the list at the beginning of the next month, and I've hopped around on the 50 list here and there. I started out I think number 48, went up, then went down, went up again, and some other friends that you and I both know that have podcasts are on there as well. So the podcast community is so, at least I'm finding it to be so non-competitive. Podcasters, if they're worth their weight in anything decent, they bend over backwards to help each other, and that's what I'm running into in the podcast community compared to television ratings or radio or something like that. But the podcast community is so receptive and helpful. Everyone is. Yeah,
and the guest we just had on, Erica Deutschman, was sent to me, another podcaster who does Popternative. He's like, hey, I'm starting this thing. I'd love to have you interview this person we just had on for this. So he's sent me a couple of guests. I always send guests to other people, and it's just kind of one of those things. It's like the rising tide is going to lift all the boats. And when it comes to podcasting, that's kind of just the way the system is, which is very healthy and a little unnerving sometimes, but you get used to it. It's a very nice feeling.
It is, and when you talk about something that you're passionate about, like you and I do, you can always tell it. Usually when you hear someone talking about something that they love and they care for and they're passionate for. I mean, I'm on Saturday mornings and you're on Sunday night. So it's like you and I almost have we're like bookends on the weekend. We have the whole ends of the weekend covered. I think it's awesome that we do that. Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun because you always see the look on people's faces like there's a radio show that covers geek stuff. And it's like, I thought, that's kind of, I think, gives us a unique edge that you and I both have.
It is, and we're not restrained to the confines of our broadcast area with a radio station anymore. With streaming now, you can have a signal on the moon and hear us. It doesn't matter where you are, just as long as you've got that cell or that internet connection wherever you are, you can hear us anywhere in the world now. And that was unheard of 20, 30 years ago.
Oh, absolutely. And I know when you and I were at Dragon Con, I was at a different station. Joey V, who's sitting right across from me, he came up with this thing where I could actually just do the show. We're live from Dragon Con right over Skype on my phone, which I thought was this is truly amazing that we're able to do this.
I know, that was great. I was with you when you were actually hooking up with him on the line and did that. I broadcasted live from Dragon Con about 5 or 6 years ago from another station I was with, and we just set up a remote broadcast system we used to broadcast remotely from the Sheraton there, and it was great doing it that night from like 9 to 11 or something, or midnight. We had a good time that night too. But I tell you, I heard some news this week. I don't know whether you heard it or not, but you know that this is Marvel related. We talked a little bit about this yesterday on my show. Mm-hmm. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was going to start production in London, England, and they switched gears, and they have changed production back here to Atlanta, Georgia now. So they're coming back to Georgia to film Volume 3.
Good. That's good, because I know the Volume 2, what you said, was right outside your radio station window. You were able to look out and see it.
It was. They filmed a lot of some of the scenes for Guardians Volume 2 in Cartersville when Ego was erupting the blue stuff out of the ground and it was destroying that town and the cars flying around. Yeah, that was all in downtown Cartersville, right on Main Street. And the Spider-Man 3 was the latest Spider-Man is just about ready. I think may have wrapped or getting close to wrap in Atlanta and Georgia. And I hear a trailer for Spider-Man 3 is just coming very soon. I'm not sure when, but it's coming.
I know you sent me those pictures because they had the movie posters up. It's supposed to be Simon Williams in the Marvel Universe, played by Nathan Fillion. I was still hoping you'd snag a couple of those posters for me, but no such luck, eh?
No, I didn't get to get them. It was so guarded out there, and we were down there doing our radio show as usual. We even had to turn while they were filming outside. Our radio station, we have speakers outside on the sidewalk because we're located right on Main Street. And we see people walking by and giving us high fives and waving at us. And we had to turn our volume down while they were filming, obviously, for the noise. But there was so much security there that I don't think I could have ever gotten close to one. But they did. They replaced there's a theater right beside us, and they replaced every theater marquee with Nathan Fillion as Wonder Man as an actor in each little movie poster. And I thought it was just so fun to watch the movie process there. It was great.
Definitely. That would be awesome to have that right out your window. We're going to take another quick commercial break. You're okay to stick with us for the next segment?
Oh, yeah, I'll be here, yeah.
Perfect. We're going to take our next commercial break. We're going to come right back and chat a little bit more with BK. If you have a question or want to call in, I never give out the listener lines enough, I don't think. So it's 314-931-5877. So go ahead and let us know if there's something on your mind. We got some announcements coming up later in the show, too, about some stuff we're going to be doing in the month of June. So please stand by.
Hi, this is Barry Bostwick. And damn it, Janet, would you just keep listening and come back to Geek to Me Radio, will you?
I've one thing to say, and that's damn it, Janet, I love you.
We're back on Geek to Me Radio. I want to make sure we mention our official movie sponsor, which is, of course, Marcus Theaters and Movie Tavern. If you are wanting to get back out and see Raya and the Last Dragon or A Quiet Place Part 2 or Cruella, do it in the best possible movie surroundings. MarcusTheaters.com is the website. You can find the location of the Marcus Theater or the Movie Tavern Theater closest to you. You can go, you can buy your tickets right there on the website. You can get reviews and everything like that. And if you want to, you can even download the Marcus Theaters app for your mobile phone or smart device. You can purchase your concessions through the app so they're ready and waiting for you for a more contactless experience. As of right now, masks are still required in the theater unless you're in your seat eating or drinking. But other than that, it's a great time to go see a movie. And you should probably totally think about renting your own private cinema. Marcus Theaters will allow you to do that on the website as well. So you and 20 of your closest friends can go and see a movie all on your own and just kind of have a good time at the movie theater with people closest to you. The website, once again, MarcusTheaters.com, Marcus Theaters and Movie Tavern for the best movie-going experience in the galaxy. And if you're listening on the station right now, we're going to be doing Friends Trivia on June the 20th. We're going to give away some cool Friends prizes. So if you're a fan of the TV show Friends, if you want to catch up on the reunion on HBO Max, we're going to be doing Friends Trivia and your chance to call in and win some cool Friends prizes. BK, were you a fan of the TV show Friends?
You know, I never really got into Friends and didn't watch it. That was where, I don't know why. There's a lot of shows that came in a little later in my life that I didn't get to watch. But my wife watched Friends, so she's very familiar with it, but I never got to watch it.
Oh, so she might have her as a ringer. She can call in for you.
She could just do any trivia for Friends. She probably could. Yeah, yeah.
So I know we were talking right before we took that break about the kind of Marvel stuff. They were filming Guardians of the Galaxy 2 right outside your window there in Cartersville. I don't know if we had a chance to talk too much about the Marvel stuff that's come out lately. Did you? What were your thoughts overall on WandaVision now that the show's over?
You know, I know some people had some problems with it. I don't know what their problem was. I was hooked and I was into WandaVision from the start because, number one, I knew it was a television series, so it it was presented in episodic form. This was not a motion picture, so you had to give them time. Let's let this unfold like peeling the layers off of an onion.
Yeah.
And boy, did it. It unfolded beautifully, and it was exciting and interesting, and it just it took us to another level with her character and everything else and the vision. And I thought they hit a home run with it. It was movie quality anyway, because everything they do is now on Netflix and Disney Plus. But I enjoyed WandaVision very much. I also enjoyed The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But I'll tell you this much: that was the show I was most looking forward to, was Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because I'm a big Captain America fan, and I knew that Captain America, even though he wouldn't be in it, there would be that they would reference him. They're all connected to him. So that was the one I was looking forward to. And I loved that one too. But I really think I wound up liking WandaVision better than that show. I really did.
I think overall I was wanting a buddy cop type of movie. Like, Marvel hasn't done that yet, and kind of Falcon and the Winter Soldier set themselves up so perfectly for that. And I guess. And it's not that I was let down, because everything they did in the movie or I should say the series for most part, was comic accurate, right down to Sam Wilson's Captain America suit. It looks like they just ripped it right off the page of the comics. I have no problems with any of that. Just a couple little things kind of bug me here and there. I think John Walker, that's as U.S. Captain America into U.S. Agent, was good. I love seeing Julia Louis-Dreyfus pop up in that. There wasn't much to dislike, but yeah, there was something I just overall liked WandaVision better. I would have to agree with you there.
I did. The people that didn't like WandaVision, some of them were eating a little crow later on as the show started to really get going and gain steam, according to them. They're like, oh, wow, yeah, once I watched it, it was really good. I'm like, didn't I tell you? You have to watch the whole thing and stick with it, and it was great. And I hear that things happen with Wanda, and it's going to have ramifications all the way up into the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, because Wanda's going to be in that. Yeah. And I got the whole release date here in front of me. We're looking forward to Loki next Wednesday. Yeah. Loki's going to hit Disney Plus. We're looking forward to that. And out of all the release dates, James, the one that's a little wacky, it's not wacky, but it just kind of caught my eye, is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. That releases on February 17th, 2023, and that is my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday to
you. That's the only
you.
one out of all
Look at
them.
that.
That's the one that's going to come out on my birthday. So I'm like, oh, it's my birthday date. That's going to be a nice birthday present to go see that, unless they change it, which they may well do. So
yeah,
we don't know.
With everything getting shuffled around still with movie releases, who knows?
Everything lately is being held pretty steady, though. I haven't seen them change the James Bond No Time to Die date again. Everything seems to be holding firm now. I haven't seen any more changes. Let's hope so.
Yeah, hopefully not. And I know the trailer for Venom just dropped with Venom Let There Be Carnage. I don't know if we talked about it. Were you a fan of the first movie with Tom Hardy?
I got I think I got about 35 to 40 minutes into the first Venom film, and I just kind of turned it off and went and had to do something. I had to leave and go do something, and then I think I eventually caught it later on cable again. It didn't hold my interest. I didn't think it was that. I thought there was something wrong with it. I couldn't get into it, and I'm familiar with the character. But the new movie that's coming out, different director, actor Andy Serkis is directing this one, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
I think so. I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe with a different director, I'll give this one a chance. Sony handling Spider-Man stuff in their universe, I mean, with some Punisher things they've done, and I guess Ghost Rider and things. I really wished all of that would just kind of. I know Disney's probably working on it. I heard they are working on trying to get everything back under their umbrella. But I really would like for them to get hold of everything and do it their way, because they're always spot right on with it, and Sony's a crapshoot sometimes. They really are.
Yeah, I'm excited because I'm a fan of Woody Harrelson. Having him play Carnage, Cletus Cassidy and Carnage, I think it's a good move. It could pay off well, and I don't see the point of having a Spider-Man villain movie where there is no Spider-Man, because Venom's origin is tied directly to Spider-Man. Yeah, which I can overlook. And again, I went in with very low expectations. I ended up watching Venom for free on a flight. Which, when you go with low expectations, you're usually pleasantly surprised. But yeah, I've got high hopes for the second one based on how much the first one surprised me. I ended up liking it, not loving it, but hopefully the second one will pay off.
Yeah, it's certainly, and I've said it before, it is a wonderful time to be a comic book fan in the current cinema world right now, because these are the rulers of cinema. COVID notwithstanding last year, they are the rulers of the box office here for the past few years, thanks to Marvel mostly thanks to Marvel. Like these are the modern day westerns, like westerns were in the 50s and 60s when the western genre was ruling cinema. They're a modern western as far as making money goes.
Yeah,
I think
I would agree. And I know we're closing on the top of the hour. I don't want to keep you too much longer. I'll make sure we get out of here on time. But I do want to ask, I know we talked about before conventions and everything like that, and those are starting to come back. I was just in your neck of the woods, sort of. When I say the southern part, I was in Pensacon for that convention a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
And we've talked before about Metropolis Days. They are going forward with Metropolis Days, Superman Celebration in Metropolis, Illinois. Any chance that you and the boys might make it up to that one?
We were thinking about it. If our schedule will allow, we're thinking about going and checking it out. Because I've got a couple of friends now with a podcast that we're friends with called the Nostalgic Pod Blast.
Yeah.
If anybody would like to check them out, they're fantastic. But we're thinking about making a trip there. If not, we all know that Dragon Con will be in person this year in Atlanta as well. So they've announced that Dragon Con will not be virtual this year. It will be the physical in-person convention in Atlanta.
Good. I was kind of wondering because last I heard they weren't sure, so that's good that they decided to do it because that's a behemoth of a convention.
Yes, they confirmed it. I think about a week ago. They went ahead and confirmed it on their website, their Facebook page. So they are confirmed unless something changes, and you never know in this day and age. But they are confirmed as of right now. Yes. And
this might be the year to go to Dragon Con because I'm sure there are still some people who are hesitant to be in a crowd that large. So this may be one of the lowest attended Dragon Cons, quite possibly. Or it might be, I might have the opposite effect and people flock to it because Dragon Con's back. So it literally could go either way. But if you're going to take a chance and go, this might be the year to go.
I didn't think about it. It could be 50-50 either way. You're right.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. I know for what we're doing Terrific Con in Connecticut. We just had Mitch Halleck on the air a couple weeks back talking about that one up in Uncasville, Connecticut. And that's one of the better cons I've ever attended. We're looking to possibly do Planet Comic Con in Kansas City at the end of August. And then I want to do Unicon in Las Vegas if I can possibly do that. Do you have any other ones on your schedule that you're kind of looking at maybe?
Well, not right now. It's kind of early, but I'm going to be looking at some options. I am trying to get a friend who's comic connected, Michael Gray, who portrayed Billy Batson in the Shazam television series back on Filmation on Saturdays on CBS. He's a good friend of mine, lives out in California, and we're trying to get him out to Dragon Con this year because he goes to conventions and with all the Shazam resurgence with the Shazam film that came out and the new Shazam that's on the horizon. He's volleying to get a cameo in there. Let's hope they choose to do that. That would be great to give him a cameo. So hopefully we'll get Michael will be able to attend Dragon Con this year as well. So yeah, we're looking forward to a lot of that.
That would be very cool. There's a lot to finally look forward to. We're now, I feel like we're kind of out of the woods here and we're moving. I'm going to knock on some Formica here as I say that, but and let everyone know again as we're wrapping stuff up. I know you're involved in a lot of stuff, podcasts, the radio. You've got we didn't even mention Alan and the Wilder Ride podcast, but tell people where they can find you if they want to keep up with you, your show, your social medias.
Well, you can just search for me as far as online, BK on the Air, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. You can also hear the pod. I turn it into a podcast after every Saturday. I'll take it and turn it into a podcast. You can hear me on podcatchers like Anchor, Spotify. We'll have a YouTube channel, tune in. And you can also listen to me live Saturdays, 10 a.m. till noon Eastern at WBHFradio.org. Or you can use the TuneIn app to tune into our station and just search for BK on there at WBHF and listen to us live every Saturday, 10 a.m. till noon. And, hey, anytime you're coming through Atlanta, buddy, you got to ring me up if you ever pass me through going somewhere. We'll stop and get a cup of coffee and a piece of pie.
I definitely will. I would love that. BK on the Air, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll hopefully talk to you again very soon.
I will, man. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you later.
You too. Take care. There he goes, BK on the Air. Great show if you want to check it out. Like I said, it's a lot like this one, geek-centric stuff, and they do it on Saturdays, so make sure you check him out online. Really good guy, does a great show there. I think we've got all our spots out of the way. I mentioned all the sponsors, but I do want to let you know that if you are wanting to support the show, a couple different ways you can do that. You may have seen it on Instagram. Joey V, my executive producer, did this really clever spot. Is a little rhyme, so it's bit.ly/geek to me. If you click on that link, there's an Amazon affiliate link. If you go through Amazon, if you're going to buy something, if you're going to buy a Funko Pop, if you're going to buy a graphic novel, you're going to buy a graduation gift for somebody, you're going to buy a Father's Day gift, go to that link, bit.ly/geek to me. Shop as you normally would on Amazon, and nothing changes for you at all, but I get a small portion of the sale that goes to help support the show. So that's one way you can do virtually almost nothing and still help support the show. Another way is to please check out our YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com, search Geek to Me Radio there, and make sure you subscribe. Hit the little bell notification. You'll get a little notification every time we put a new show up. And then obviously the social media channels at Geek to Me Radio on Twitter and on Instagram. So if you're watching this on Instagram Live, make sure you click that follow button. We'd greatly appreciate it. And of course, facebook.com/Geek to Me Radio. We are going to be doing Friends Trivia on the 20th. So make sure you tune in for that. If you want, we'll give out the call-in lines, 314-931-5877. I think we're going to keep that phones only because I don't want to have to deal with looking at Facebook, having Joey monitor Twitch comments and everything like that. So we'll probably keep that to phone lines only for the call-in. If you do win, if you're listening to this, some of the shows, you can't come to the station right now because of code to pick up your prize. I'm going to mail the prize to you, so you won't have to worry about any of that, so don't let that stop you from calling in. A lot of cool stuff coming up down the road, so please stay with us. And until next week, my friends.
It's not in the way you watch a zombie. It's not in the way you watch The Flash. It's not in the way you love Scotty Young Art. It's not in the way you play Mario Kart. It's not in the way you look when you make Game of Thrones references. That's our show. This is Geek to Me Radio. That's our show. This is Geek to Me Radio.
Thank you, Cartersville. Good night.